everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and today we are doing some plant chores. I've got a lot of fun stuff lined up for this video, doing some watering, doing some fertilizing and pest reduction, which I'm looking over at one of my plants right now that has like 1 million fungus gnats in it. Like, I am absolutely shook. Hold on a second. I need to set up a sticky trap like right now. I cannot like believe that that is a thing. Pretty soon on my podcast, an episode is gonna be coming out about beneficial insects. And after that conversation, I am definitely going to be getting some beneficial nematodes for my fungus gnat problem. But anyway, this video is sponsored by Costway, which is perfect because today I'm going to start off the video by putting together a planter box that I got from them. And I'm really excited about it because I'm really wanting to add some like dynamic dimension to my front area here, and that's where I'm planning on putting the garden box. It's a garden box with like a trellis attached to it, and I think it'll be really cute to like hang ferns and stuff like that because I don't have anywhere on my house that I can like hang things on. So I was thinking it'd be really cute to like plant some stuff in the actual planter box and then have some ferns or something just like hanging on it as well. So anyway, as soon as I finish putting this out, I will start on building that. My dogs are barking at something. Also, this design was so silly. I hate that I bought so many of these because they're so impossible to get the little paper off of them. If you've never heard of Costway before, they're an online shop for home and garden premium quality products that deliver fast and free within 3 to 5 days. So they have everything from furniture, appliances, decor, and a ton of garden supplies, which is probably like the most exciting thing for all of us. In their garden department, they have garden supplies such as cold frames, greenhouses, plant stands, and planter boxes like the one that I'm building right now. So if you are looking for some cool ways to display your plants, I would suggest checking out Costway. I will have them linked down below if you're interested, and I'm really excited to do more shopping on their site because I have a lot of holes in my plant display areas outside especially. They have some really cool plant stands that are great for outside and inside. That's the fun thing about houseplants is you can use like typically outside decor indoors on your houseplants because it's a plant stand, so indoors or outdoors, it doesn't really matter. Also, their greenhouse selection is really awesome. They have some cold frames. I found this greenhouse on their website and I think it is so cool. It's a great alternative to the Millsbow if you are not able to get a Millsbow because they are constantly out of stock and also pretty expensive. So if you're looking for another alternative, this is a really great one. Okay, so I just finished assembling this. I think that it would be better suited for in my plant room. Like I have this set up right here and this shelf, I love this shelf. I just keep like moving it to different parts of my house because I don't know what to do with it. And I think I'm gonna do that again because I think that this trellis would be so cool to like get my begonia to climb up. This is so awesome, by the way. Like it was really easy to assemble. I was just dumb and assembled it backwards like 3 times. That's why it took me a little longer than it should have. But I would say assembly time for this is like 5 minutes, like no joke. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts, I think, and that's it. So anyway, it's really nice. I love the color, especially. I love the color. So I'm gonna swap this out for this like wicker thing and see if I like that. And then maybe I'll start growing my begonias up this. Does it also give me an excuse to buy more begonias? Possibly. Also cute if I put it on like a little riser to be a little bit taller, but let's see what these look like in here. Oh, cute. See, this one's already able to like climb up. I think that would be really cool if I just had like a, oh my gosh. I was doubting the vision for a second, but it looks really good. Look, I'm kind of loving it. I would like, I think, to have like taller legs if I am gonna use it indoors. If I use it outdoors, this is like a perfect height. Like it'd be really great for like beans or something like that outside. So I could still use it outside, but I'm liking the vibe of it being in here on this trellis situation. So anyway, that's what I've got. I'm gonna see if I can get my begonia to climb, and I might like put something under it, like a little stool to make it taller. Anyway, that's super fun. So thank you so much to Costaway for sponsoring this video and sending me this beautiful planter box. If you want to check them out, I'll have them linked down below. They have some really awesome and cute stuff. Now I want to show you these sticky traps that I put in my Fittonia. Look, it's been like maybe 30 minutes and we've already got some action. So I think that these will be full by the end of the day, at least. Or at least like relatively full, getting close to being full. Cause like there are so many fungus gnats in that plant. I think that is honestly the main source of my fungus gnat problem, so. Anyway, I need to do some watering in here, which I already filmed for my other plant chores video, but you can see there's, this plant needs to be watered. Wow, she's thirsty. So I'm gonna do that, but I filmed earlier some clips this morning, like right when I woke up. I did some plant chores and I decided to just film it and not really talk. So I'm going to insert that here and walk you through what I did this morning. So this morning I brought all of my plants out of my greenhouse cabinet and I put them on my plant folio over my sink. And it's really nice because most, if not all of them, fit on this plant folio. So it feels like less work to just fill up the plant folio one time. And then all I need to do is water these plants and I'm done. I don't know, it makes watering feel like a less daunting task because watering can be a little bit daunting sometimes. So anyway, I gave them all a good water. And then I decided that since my greenhouse cabinet is a closed container that is always like 70 degrees, 60, 70% humidity, that the plants in there have obviously not gone into dormancy because, you know, the weather has not changed for them. So they don't know that it's winter right now, which is an interesting thing to sort of like fake out a plant. But anyway, I decided that since the plants in there are still actively growing, that I would fertilize. Sometimes people ask me if I fertilize in the winter time, and the answer is usually no. But if a plant is still actively growing, then I will give it fertilizer. And for fertilizer, I use the Super Mix organic fertilizer from Tank's Green Stuff. It has a lot of really great ingredients in it, like compost, chicken manure, worm castings, biochar, humic acid, kelp meal, bat guano. Those are just some of the ingredients. But anyway, if you want to check out the full ingredients list, you can look on Tank's Green Stuff website. And I think that if you use the code Becca10, you'll get 10% off your order if you want to try this out. And then I actually had a nightmare the other day that my plants had thrips, and that dream honestly put so much fear in me that I'm going to have a thrips outbreak. I don't know why. I don't want to like manifest bad things, so I'm actively saying that that's not going to happen. And then I'm also doing some treatments with some systemic pest control. So I'm using the SNS 209 all natural systemic pest control concentrate. And this specific concentrate controls spider mites, whiteflies, fungus gnats, thrips, root aphids, and larvae. Systemic insecticide works really similarly to flea and tick medication for your dogs or cats. So you'll water the plant according to the instructions with this concentrate, and the plant will uptake that water. So when that bug bites into the plant and eats it, that insect will then ingest this stuff that is not good for them, and then they will die. Okay, so I'm doing another plant on plank. This one I'm starting very young on the plank, and I hope that that means that I will get a lot of beautiful growth. I don't know, we'll see. But this is a Philodendron glorious, which is a Melanochrysum gloriosum cross. And I just noticed that it put out this very fuzzy root, if you can see that. So it's really, really cute. And I've got this little board right here. This is just like an offcut from my green wall. This is just like a little cedar board. And I've got my supplies to do a plant on plank. And if you watched my video that was talking about how much it costs to build my green wall / update Q&A video about that, you saw how I did this. So basically it's very simple. You just get some plant stakes and then you use a staple gun to staple the plant stake to the wood so that the wood doesn't have to be buried. It will have contact with the soil like at the bottom here, but it really should slow down rotting. And also I don't think it's gonna rot that fast anyway, because houseplant soil does dry out. Like it's only actually very wet for maybe like 1 or 2 days, and then it dries out. So I'm sort of toying with the idea of moving this plant to this pot because I really love this pot, and I don't like potting up upright plants into lipped terracotta because that terracotta can be used for a hanging plant. And yeah, I would rather like not have to buy an extra one if I don't have to, if I can just use this one. So I think I've just convinced myself to switch to this one. So since my watering tray is being used right now, I am going to just grab one of the inserts and do this really quickly on that. So I actually haven't repotted this plant yet at all, so it should have a really young root system. And it's potted in De La tanks, and as you can see, the soil structure is looking really good. Like, I'm just always so amazed at how good the soil looks, even after the plant has been in the pot for a long time. Like, even after the plant has been in a pot for a year or more, it still looks like this, which is really great. And it's just telling that the soil composition is really good and the plants are loving it. Okay, so I'm lining up where this needs to sit. So I want it to sit pretty far on the edge of this pot. I don't want it to take too much space in the pot. I didn't do this last time, but I might just staple it while it's hovering over the pot, just so that I don't lose the spot that I want it to sit in. This is honestly not the most beautiful solution, but I'm trying to use up my supplies, and then I will buy like brown, like wood ones that aren't green, because I know it doesn't look great. I know, but I'm using what I have. Using the same soil, just popping that in. Okay, now I'm just gonna put the plant in. I'm gonna have the root facing the plank, and it's still fuzzy, so I feel like the root could still attach without me having to do much, but we'll see. I'm just trying to be like really gentle. I don't want to break it, like, because usually in the past when I've broken aerial roots, they don't come back, like they don't grow again. That happened on my Monstera alba, and it was really sad. So this is still going to live in my greenhouse cabinet. It's just not going to be in the bag anymore. So it has graduated from plastic bag to this, which is really exciting. And I'm excited to see what it does, and I think it's gonna be really beautiful, and I hope that it grows really nicely up this little plank of wood. And just as a little update on the cabinet, this is not going to be a full update, but this is where I have the Glorious. The root is not looking incredible. It might have gotten a little bit beat up, but I hope that it's humid enough in here for it to adhere. It is currently like 73%. I have a little, what are these called? Diffuser. I have a diffuser down here. It only runs for 6 hours at a time, and I'm realizing that in the winter time when my house humidity is so low, I need another humidity source in here because it'll hold it pretty well, but it just doesn't stay humid, and it'll go back down to like 50 to 30% humidity, which is not good because I might as well not even have the cabinet if the humidity is going to be that low. So I've heard of a lot of other people having to have a humidifier in their greenhouse cabinet even when it is fully sealed. Like, I've done everything I can to seal this up. If the humidity is really, really dry on the outside, I can imagine that that will affect the inside. I don't know if anybody has experienced this or something similar. Let me know your thoughts, but I need to get one of those humidifiers that sort of like sits in a cup, and then I can just sit it in the cup and it'll continuously run as long as it has water, because this actually turns off every 6 hours, and I cannot come in here every 6 hours and turn it back on. Like, I will never remember. That's why I have all of this set up on timers. So the lights will turn off at 7 p.m., turn back on at like, I think like 5 or 6 a.m. And then the fans run like all the time. I have them off right now for sound. So I have my Hoya Obovata Splash in the plastic bag greenhouse. I would imagine that the humidity in here is like 90%. Like, it has to be really high because there's always condensation. But the plants that are in there are super, super happy. My Anthurium Ace of Spades is putting out another leaf. I just saw that when I was watering, which is really exciting. But now I put this in here, not because it necessarily needs it, but because I just want to see it like really, really pump out some new growth. So ever since I potted it into the De La Tank soil, it has gone crazy, and I wish that I did it sooner. But yeah, I'm just sort of waiting on this growth that it has coming out. You can see there's like some growth points up here. I'm just wanting that to be fully developed and see what that all looks like. And then maybe eventually I'll put it on a little trellis or something. But anyway, that's that situation. My Anthurium crystal, no, what is this called? Anthurium, I always forget the name. Clarinervium. It put out a new leaf that is over here. It's still hardening off a little bit, but this plant is in a really good place. Like, it has 4 really awesome leaves, most of which are pointing backwards right now, just with the way that I positioned it in here. But it put out a bloom, and I'm gonna leave the bloom because it blooms pretty consistently, and I think I wanna try to gather the pollen and see if it will last long enough to get another bloom, because it'll put out a leaf and then it'll bloom, leaf, bloom, like pretty consistently. So once this bloom is done, I'll cut it off and then it will put out a leaf probably pretty soon after. Like this is already, no, that's not feeling like anything. Anyway, it'll put out a leaf pretty soon after, and hopefully another bloom. Like, this bloom actually came out simultaneously with this new leaf, and I was thinking that it would bother it, like it would be an issue for it, but it really wasn't. Thankfully, it didn't affect it in any way. Turn that back on. It actually turned off after only oh, that was 1 hour. Okay, 6 hours. And that'll get the humidity up to like 80%, and then it'll stop. So it doesn't ever go above 80%, which I think is good. And that is going to be the end of this video. So thank you so much for joining me on some plant chores. I had a blast with you. Like, truly, it was really fun just to hang out and do some stuff this morning. I so often feel like I have no plant chores like to film, and then I just start doing things as I normally would in my life, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is a plant chore that I could film. I think that a lot of people, when they start, you know, collecting houseplants, they can be intimidated by the amount of work that it can be, but it's so like well integrated into the rest of your life, you honestly don't even notice half the time. Like, I don't know, if you are out there, why would somebody who doesn't do houseplants watch this video? But yeah, like, if for some reason you are watching this video and you don't have that many houseplants, or you don't have any houseplants, just get a few. It's fun. Like, join us. Also want to point out that I gave myself a gel manicure last night, and this is probably the best gel manicure I've ever given myself. Like, it looks really nice. Actually, I just noticed that it's already kind of chipping, but I didn't like close in the edges. Like, there's so much in nail art and nail doing I had no idea about until I started like consuming nail content. I just think that's the greatest thing about the internet, is I can like figure out that I like something and then find an entire part of the internet that has dedicated their lives to this, you know? Like, if you just decide you might want to get a houseplant and you like Google it, my freaking face shows up and it's like, look at this whole world of houseplants that you could join. That's how I feel about like the nail community right now. Like, I'll just look up random things here and there, and there's like people who have entire YouTube channels dedicated to nails, like doing nails at home. It's just absolutely wild. YouTube is crazy. So, okay, I'm gonna just keep talking, so I'm gonna stop there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm super excited to see you in the next one, and I will see you there. And of course, big thank you to Costway for sending me this beautiful planter box. I'm really excited to see how my begonias grow on it in the months and years to come.